Hi, all. Welcome back to F Wonderland. Wonderland, the podcast.
Most wonderful podcast there is.
It really is. Number 3. So welcome to our third episode.
I thought you were like number 3 on the charts. I was like,
we are
climbing.
trending number 3.
Yeah, I'm
already
humbled.
In our hearts.
We're technically not even live yet, so it's really all to you. My name is Jake. This is Kelly, and this is Tim. If you haven't checked out our first 2 episodes yet, please go ahead and do so. I don't know why you would start at number 3. I mean,
bold move.
It's my lucky number.
3 is a really great number. So, yeah. Anyway, you can check us out at F1_DERLAND.
Durland.
Yeah, so it's F_Durland.
F1_Durland.
Correct, on Instagram.
Yeah.
Also, we have an email address. So if you want to, give us some tips or have any recommendations of things.
Or if you'd like to sponsor the show.
That right there.
That part.
We're actually going to dive into that a little bit more today. I think Kelly has a little surprise for us.
Yeah, sure.
So it could be a little preview for, your team, your business, your brand, whatever you want to, we'll take your money is what we're saying, So.
We just want to keep being able to talk about this stuff.
Really?
So.
I mean, I feel like we're going to do it regardless, but it'd be nice to have merch.
Yeah. So if you guys want merch, then
send us your merch.
Money. Anyway, thank y'all so much.
This is going down a dark path.
It's going down a dark path. We actually have some really fun stuff to talk about today. We are just a few weeks out from I guess we're a few days out now from the official launch of season 2025. Yeah, 2025, season 20. What?
No, I said F175.
I was getting confused with the year. It's not too.
No, season, it's the 75th season.
Yes, right. Yeah. Which is premiering on Monday. It is Saturday today. So next week we will have a lot more information regarding cars and teams and
livery,
what's actually happening. So let's just dive into that then, Tim. We have the launch of the 75th anniversary, like we just said. I want to talk about the liveries and what is different this year versus the previous years. Do you want to jump on that real quick?
Sure. So I mean, we obviously have not seen the liveries for this year yet, but what is different about this year than any other year before is that there's going to be a centralized celebration and launch for all 10 teams, top 20 all drivers and principals are all going to be at the O2 Arena in London on Monday. And so it will be the reveal of all of reveal of all the liveries. At least we're not really slated to get much news on the actual performance updates and upgrades to the cars yet, but we will see how snazzy everybody's going to look. Personally, I really wish that we were just talking about this, that McLaren would keep the kind of digital camo that they have going to save I
think it looks good.
I think it looks
think it's
good.
Great. For all of you that don't know, I know that we have some listeners that are, tuning in that don't have a lot of experience with F1 or none at all, which is great. We started this podcast really as the three of us just being nerds and sending each other memes and stuff on a group chat, which has turned into this wonderful project. But the difference between a livery, a chassis, and a car, they're kind of used interchangeably. A livery is, think of it like your clothes. You can change it. It is the outside uniform where the sponsors go. So when you hear us say livery, that is kind of like the aesthetic design of the car. The chassis is going to be the external shell of the vehicle. So you have the car, which is the motor, all of the internal components wrapped in a carbon fiber metal structure, which is known as the chassis. So they have instructed the teams that they cannot reveal their official liveries until this special Monday event. But what we're seeing, because they want to test their cars out, is the correct, or as close to what they want to give us right now, chassis out on the road. So the actual cars that are pretty much going to be driven with a different design or livery on them. So what we saw this week was McLaren come out with this digital camo, which
so good looking.
It looks so hot, and I love that. Like you can,
McLaren,
like they're
so hot right now.
So hot,
so hot right now. I love that you can kind of see the updated aero on it. You can see the aerodynamics on it. You can see the updated
suspension on it is just.
It's kind of a fat, chunky boy, and I love it.
But she's wide open. Yeah. I'm like the air flow.
It's gonna be really exciting to see as next week goes on. I feel like by Friday, Kelly, did you want to say something?
Did you want
to? Anyway, so like next week is gonna be.
We got nothing here. I'm just gonna listen to y'all.
She's wide open.
Hey,
you heard it here first, folks. McLaren's wide open.
Yeah,
we'll see. It's gonna be a really fun event. I think it's gonna be interesting. When I was looking into it, I was interested to see like what the entertainment was going to be. The same guy, Brian Burke, who coordinated Brian Burke of Brian Burke fame, is coordinating the event. He's the one who also produced the Las Vegas Grand Prix, the first ever opening and closing. He's also done the Latin Grammys, American Idol. He did Celine Dion's A New Day residency in Las Vegas. And he's known as Strip Royalty, which is also a Jake.
This is so true. This is very aligned.
We will bleep that if you. Yeah,
that's not even
Jules,
a dotted
don't
line.
cut
that
it. Just bleep
straight.
it.
Yeah, just bleep it. Bleep it out.
No, but it is going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of pomp, a lot of circumstance, and I think one of the things that surprised me is that the British boy band Take That is going to be performing. I had no idea who they were.
Don't know who that is.
Upon researching who they are you familiar with the movie that came out this year or late 2024 called A Better Man, where it was a monkey as the main character in a world of humans? Do you remember this?
Oh, no.
No? Okay, just me. Great. Robbie Williams is a British pop star.
Yep.
He was the monkey in that movie. Like, the monkey is him. It's the story of his life. Starting in a boy band.
Jake gets a drink of water.
He's basically, it's not time for your segment yet.
Kind of out of here.
Anyway, think of it as like British in sync. This guy, Robbie Williams, is JT, goes off, has a really successful solo career.
Okay.
The other guy's...
as a monkey.
Not as much. And he's not a monkey, but... you got just watch the trailer. People who have seen the trailer and know the movie know what I'm talking about. But at least 3 of those members of that band, they're performing.
I love that.
Yep. So
are they popular globally?
Globally they're fucking massive. But here,
yeah.
Well,
that's kind of like F1.
I looked up some of the
globally
songs, and I was like, this is like if NSYNC was headed by George Michael, then that's what it sounds like.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, 15,000 tickets sold out like that, and it's going to be on YouTube. So
you bring up a good point. There was a lot of pomp and circumstance with the Las Vegas opening segments and entertainment. Not necessarily this year because of backlash, but the very first year.
Bringing everybody out and like raising them
on those
from
blocks.
The tubes.
The drivers loved that.
Oh, yeah.
I actually saw a reel this morning of Carlos when he was on Ferrari the first year that they were in Vegas. You know, they were like on hydraulics and they were coming down. Yeah. Well, it said when Carlos's intrusive thoughts win, and he like holds on to the platform because they're like on an elevator, and so they're coming down and like the lights go off and he just like holds on. And then drops.
Love it.
But no, I think it's a good point because if you have seen any of the footage from Vegas, it's very showy, very grand. And I think they went a little too overboard the first year because people weren't relating to it. They just were like, what is this? This is not
F1. They threw a ton of money at it. And it felt honestly kind of like what I feel like Monday is going to feel like, where it is a lot of stuff that the drivers are probably going to be like, ugh.
But
rolls eyes.
I do think that this is probably the setting for them to do it. Like if it's 100%. Going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about it. So they're obviously doing something right.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen did say, I do hope that I'm sick that day. So
checks out.
That
is
tracks.
Very on brand.
Yeah.
Look, I'm the first one to bring up Max today. So
I know, and not in a negative light. Look at you. This
I'm just
is
repeating
live on
really
it felt neutral.
It was just fact.
It was just facts.
It was
Yeah, you
just
were
a
just
quote.
a quote. Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, they will be revealing all of the liveries. So next week we can discuss what our favorite liveries are.
So fun.
Yeah. Did you have a thought on Williams livery?
Not specifically until we see what the 2025 one will
McLaren came out and they put they put out this like really cool camo design, and then you see Williams come out 2 days later and it's literally the same livery as last year. Like it's
okay. So we need to talk about Williams. Williams has the opportunity of a lifetime with Daddy Signs being on their team. Even Alex Albon is a fun person.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
he's had some good moments on DTS and like not obviously he's still there.
And they just cannot get any more vanilla.
That's what I mean is like, even though before we get roasted, like it has to be a different livery, right? Because it can't be the same one as last year and it can't be the one that they're gonna officially announce on Monday. But it's just blue with a Duracell battery on the top.
Okay, but even their like media, we're starting to like see the team come together. They're doing like the questions, yada yada yada. Whoever shot like Carlos Sainz's first day in office,
it can't.
The cinematography of it is just like gray.
I'm sorry to this man.
What do we call him now? Carl?
Carl Sainz.
Carl Sainz.
I felt bad for him. Like, it wasn't his choice to leave Ferrari.
I know.
He is a fantastic driver.
Sure.
But he had all of the elements to make him a world champion. Maybe not this year or the following, but like the ingredients were
competitive, for sure.
I mean, he had a better season than Charles did. I mean,
that's a hot take.
I mean, depending on the way that you look at it,
sure.
Right? They both had a great season, but after he, and maybe that's why, after he was announced that he was not going to be at Ferrari, I feel like he really kind of stepped up and was like, you're losing this, you know?
Sure.
You're going to watch me leave.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what the teams do as far as their PR strategies, what we're seeing. I will say, even though it might be more subdued or gray compared to these other teams, at least they're putting in effort. Like I'm still seeing
there's a lot of effort, and I think we're going to see a lot more of what the behind the scenes work and efforts have been once we get on the track. Because if we can pivot, a little segue here, just speaking on Williams, there's been a lot of shifts in sponsorships in the off season, and it's been really massive with Checo leaving Red Bull and all of his Mexican sponsors, and like oodles and oodles of cash leaving Red Bull. Williams and James Vowles have like really, really scored big with Atlassian. And in an interview with F1.com, James was saying like, this is without a doubt the largest deal that Williams has ever done and the largest amount of money injected into that program. And he also said that it could be potentially the largest deal in sports ever for sponsorship, which is really exciting and still goes hand in hand with what Carl was saying about like transforming Williams into, or taking them back to their like former glory. Carl, hi, I'm Carl Sainz, and I drive cars really fast.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my Jimmy
Neutron
fans. Yeah.
Wow.
Jimmy.
Okay.
No.
Jimmy Vowles, can I go on the track now?
Oh my God.
But anyway, so I am genuinely very stoked for all of this. Atlassian is an Australian company. They're probably going to go all out for the beginning of the season with being the Australia JT. And also, if anybody else is wondering, what Atlassian does, you're not alone. I thought I had written it down and I did not.
So we're still going to wonder.
There were a lot of quotes that were pulled around, like how Williams and James Vowles and Atlassian are like at the core. We're all having the same goals here. Okay. Like pushing the boundaries of technology and what
we're
the human
family
is capable of. I'm like, you guys are just here to make a fuck ton of money.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they're doing it.
To your point though, I think tying it all together, Williams, you're seeing Williams. I follow Williams now and I follow Carlos Sainz, but like, I they're not on my feed normally.
I had zero curiosity about the team before. I loved like their former team principal. I thought it was awesome that she was the only female team principal in the sport. And it was kind of brutal to see the team just continue to kind of shit the bed. But like, yeah, I mean, they're doing everything on paper right. Now it has to be in the garage.
I think I think they are. This is my, very not stupid opinion, but uneducated opinion on.
That's what this show is about.
Yeah.
Educated opinions out on the world for people to take as fact.
I think they are going with the PR strategy and actually team strategy of kind of like what McLaren did, where they were a dominant force in the history of F1.
Yep.
And were overtaken by the Red Bulls. That's what their second team is called, Red Mules.
Red Mules.
Might as well be.
Visa Cash App Red Mule.
Yeah.
Keep up. That's
but
next.
I think they're kind of on this, game plan to be an underdog again, to come up through the ranks of Red Bull and McLaren. I mean, McLaren just won their first world championship in 30 years. So it's nice to see a team that isn't the top three have funding again to put them in contention with the top three.
Yeah.
Now,
that's real.
Will that play out? We don't know. But as far as
between
the
this
marketing
season
team,
and next season, I feel like it's going to be the adjustment with the cost cap for the teams is bringing everything. It's leveling the playing field. Now with that Atlassian injecting all this money, it's going to be very exciting. If we don't see it right at the beginning of the season, my bet is last half of this season, beginning of next season with the new kinds of cars that they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
It's going to be very fun.
We're in for some really fun content this year and next with the new drivers, all the new young drivers.
So many drivers.
And then next year with all the new regulations and cars. So
and it's going to be more passing. It's going to be a little bit more dangerous. It's going to be super fun.
We're going to see who makes the grid next year from this year.
Yeah,
we don't even know if
people potentially retiring.
Exactly. Carl. That actually let's go into our next segment here. I think this is a really good tie-in. I thought it would be fun for us to create a fantasy team. Maybe not a fantasy team. We did that but our predictions for what we think are going to be the results. We will put this up on. We're going to actually start. I'm going to send out a newsletter with our email address. So if you want to subscribe, we'll put a link in our bio on our Instagram. So we're going to, we'll post our full predictions for 2025 on that newsletter. But I thought it'd be fun to go through our top 5 drivers and top 5 teams that we think will win.
All right,
let's
Jake.
go. Lights out. Okay. So number 1,
He's
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
get
roasted.
Can we guess? Can
I'm
Kelly and I guess on 3?
1, 2, 3.
Lando.
I'm sticking with my boy. That's my
Yeah.
man. That's my. Look at the screen. That's your man.
Wreck my
That's
plans.
my man.
Yep.
Stand by him. Okay, so that's. I think.
Okay, Lando.
I think if he can hold a first lap, and he could be ready to take on Max, I think he has the car this year. That's my guess.
He probably does have the car.
Yeah.
My first is probably controversial, maybe. Mine is Max. He's not my favorite human.
Is it controversial because of Jake's personal feelings towards him, or is it controversial?
I just don't think he has the car.
Okay, I don't know that he had the car last year. So when I look at the dynamics of all the
He
team,
forced that to happen.
and I can get into it in the constructors a little bit, but I think the teams are going to be Ferrari's team is going to be their weakest part, figuring out who's their number one. I think a lot of teams are. The only team I'm not worried about is Mercedes because they know how to hold a number one. Yeah. So I think Max benefits from the shuffling and the unclarity of team orders.
Okay. I want to get into the new teams a little bit too, 'cause I want to talk about Max and the Penguin, Liam. There it is.
I was going to say, I don't know if Max and Liam's dynamic. I mean, that's a really great point, Kelly, to bring up is team orders and how those are going to play out. I think the biggest rivalry or contention, you would say, was papaya rules this
Yeah.
year with Oscar and Lando. I think we're going to see a lot more of that across the two. You have Lewis and
I think
Charles.
Ferrari's
Are we
gonna
saying
have a hard
that like
time.
Kick Sauber and Haas, this is their season to shine?
I think that some people, I mean, there's a lot of talent for drivers on the grid, and I think smart drivers will take advantage of teams that are not ready to make hard decisions.
And I think that's where
Yeah.
I have placed Lando.
You think papaya rules
I
are going to
think-
be clear this year?
I think that they've gone through I think there's always going to be contention there.
Yeah.
Sure.
But they've gone through it this year. They've experienced that.
I hope for McLaren's sake that they are clear on that, because I think
They better be.
had they let Lando like really do his thing last year, he would have beat Max
Mhm.
and they would have had a comfier lead
Yep.
in the constructors. But they still obviously didn't do that bad.
Yep.
Okay, my top driver is Lewis. I
Wow.
am calling a bold prediction here. I think that Ferrari, I think Fred has had some time to settle there. I think what they've done, he's come in and fixed the car mechanically from what Mattia Binotto has done or didn't do. There were no, that I can remember, no just like spontaneous combustions happening with for the Ferrari car last year, like there was in 2023, where it seemed like every other race
Yeah.
Carlos did not finish. Carl.
Carl.
Yeah, but I think I think most of it is like blind hope,
Mm.
and
Great.
I would love a good moment for him. I just want him to get his eighth, and
I
then we
don't-
can all like. go
I don't
home.
think it's would you say a blind
out of the realm of possibility.
No,
I don't think so
I
either.
put him as my second.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good, and because Ferrari has so much invested in it and made so much money just like before he even was officially on the team.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I
We'll
think
see.
I think it could be good. All
I love
should
that we all have
different.
different ones.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this pans out.
Yeah, he
we'll
was
figure out a funny bet for all of us to do. Whoever wins, whoever loses.
Why don't we go two through five?
2 through 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
Tell
it.
us-
We
tell us
listen
your
and we
rat.
don't judge.
Oh,
So
I won't
I
commit to that.
don't know
Yeah,
about
no,
that.
bullshit.
that's not
I'd be
that's
mad
not
at
this
that.
podcast.
That's
That's a
the
different
antithesis of
podcast.
this show.
So number 2, I picked Lewis. I think
Great.
It'll be interesting. I don't know if they have the car. I think they had a great car last year. So if they
Mhm.
build upon that, I think that his experience. I think this year what held him back so much was the car with Mercedes.
Oh, for sure.
So it'll be interesting to see at his age, not that he's old, but like at his age compared to the younger drivers, if he still has it in him to get to that
really-
spot.
Yeah.
3, I put Charles
Ooh,
Nice.
because I do think that Ferrari does have a chance to get there.
Okay.
4th, I put Max.
okay.
I just don't think that he has the car. And if he drives the way that he did last year, I think they will be more strict on penalties.
Mm.
I think this season he got away with a lot of things that I'll put it down. He's
A Lando sympathizer.
he's real. No, but like really, he is good at what he does because he knows the rules and
Sure.
he knows how to break them.
Yeah.
And so he gets into that gray area where he knows exactly. I mean, look at what he did in Brazil, where
Yeah.
he called Lando out. As much of a fucking dick move that was, it was correct.
It's all part of the game.
And that's
Yeah.
he's really good at playing the game. And he's
Yeah.
not a multiple world champion
For nothing.
for nothing.
Yeah.
So
number 5?
but with his
with talent.
with his
It's more so
with his 4 world championships,
Yeah.
I'm putting him this year at number
4.
4.
That's his number.
And then lastly, I put Oscar up there because I think
Mhm.
if I'm going to pick Lando as my number 1, it's going to come from the team, the car,
Mhm.
and the driving ability. And Oscar really gave Lando a run for his money. I mean, he
Yeah.
was probably a better driver last year than Lando
He's
was.
an animal.
So-
And I think it's
Mhm.
his quiet demeanor and kind of aloofness off the track. I forgot. And then he'd get out there and kind of
Yeah.
stick his elbows out right into Lando's ribs. And that was
Yeah.
very exciting.
So
Yeah.
that's my top 5.
Okay, that's our
Kel?
top 5. All right, I'm
Quick recap.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So number 1 through 5, Lando, Lewis, Charles, Max, and Oscar.
Great.
beautiful. Okay, so I obviously put Max first. I think because of the dynamics on the grid, we know this. My number 2 is Leclerc.
Okay.
I see it.
I think Ferrari has a car. I mean, just based on what we saw towards the end of the season and then management team, all of that, they seem like they're on the right track. And Leclerc's been at Ferrari and he's consistent, feels comfortable. So I think I'm third. I have Lando because I also think McLaren's car is on point. I think Lando, the biggest thing that team needs to figure out is how the team wants to proceed with the year. I have Hamilton fourth. If Leclerc has the car to almost win, I think Hamilton will get there in the car, and I do think there's a learning curve for him. So I think he'll be an incredible driver in general, but to say that he'll outdrive Leclerc feels hard in year one. And then I have Piastri, because obviously if McLaren has the car, Piastri is driving it well last year, and I think if the car is there, that's who I think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like it.
Again?
So Max, Leclerc, Lando, Hamilton, Piastri.
Awesome.
I do think I am.
You're way more accurate than I will end up being.
The one call out I will say is Merc is like not even on my radar,
Rockety.
which feels offensive to Toto specifically because love Toto. I just don't. They've just had such a hard time. And George,
I don't feel like any of us are really pulling for George.
I just don't. They could surprise us, but I just don't see. I didn't see it last year. They had a shit car, and there was no improvement on it. McLaren didn't start with the best car.
Really stellar races. I think where they also may have gotten lucky where other cars were kind of
but and I don't want to hate on them. I just don't see the. We talked about Williams. I see more stuff about Williams. Yes, they have a great driver that just went over to their team, but supposedly they have one of the best lineups, with Kimi Antonelli coming on.
Sure. I know, I'm really excited to see Kimi drive.
But I haven't seen anything on their PR team. And I think it's all a team, like what you were saying. It's a company. So you got to approach it on each level. Now, is your PR team going to be just as good as your car? No. But not necessarily, I should say. But I haven't seen anything from them.
Yeah.
So
it'll be exciting.
So
we'll see.
I mean, those are my 5. I recognize that Mercedes is not in there, and part of it.
Yeah. Okay. So I said Lewis is number 1. Second is Lando. Third is Charles. Fourth is Max. Fifth, Carl Sainz.
Get him up there.
I honestly, I think because I just feel like Carlos has that dog in him right now. The social media from Williams and the foggy London skies are not doing him any justice right now. But he
looks great.
It looks like when Jim goes to work in Connecticut in
the office.
Yeah, in the office.
It does look very office.
But I feel like there's more. I feel like it could be deliberate. Like they see how perfectly everybody else is doing their thing. Or it could be that they just don't have the budget and they're being like, you know what, that's not important right now. We got the man, we've got the cash. Let's build a fucking car. I think it could be. I think that from the way that he drove at the end of last season, knowing that he was going to be gone and just kind of putting Charles in his place a little bit, super exciting. I think that he's going to drive this Williams car into the ground. If not this season getting in top 5, I think it could definitely happen in 26. Lando, obviously he's driving really well. Charles, I have Ferrari in my constructor's positioning. I feel like he has to be up there for that to make sense. Max is just going to make some shit happen. I feel like that's what he did all of last season. Yeah. He had a perfect car for 2 years in a row, or maybe even 3 years in a row. Last season, really rode the struggle bus, but he drove it. He did a lot.
No, I'm not denying you on that. This is where I disagree. I think I'm so strong-willed on this thought of it's hard for me, my own opinion on Red Bull, to say that they had a shit car this past year, because if you have a shit car, you can't come from the back of the grid all the way to the front.
True. Shit car respective to the previous
Whenever
years.
he gets on the radio, whenever something doesn't go his way, it's the car's fault. And whenever it does go his way, it's his driving ability. And so, yes, obviously there's a rivalry and I have feelings about it. I just don't think that their car was that bad.
No, you're right.
But
I was being a little.
So we think Checo is just that out
Yes.
of, we think that
I think with Lawson coming in this year, he will drive way better than Checo.
He's got something to prove. And
He drove
just
better
talking about Liam really quick, he went from this sweet little New Zealand boy.
He's giving me the ick lately.
I think he's kind of given a lot of people the ick. And it's his guitar playing and singing is fine. But
that absolutely
That
has
was
nothing to do with it.
brutal.
But
It has nothing to do with
a
it.
little bit
But
to do with it.
I think honestly what really this was before the guitar came out. I think when
He was
it Brad
born before
Bird
the
or was
guitar
it
came out?
when the director of Cars, was it Brad Bird or somebody from Pixar,
Yeah.
brought him a hand-drawn birthday card. That young boy did not stand up when a visitor came in to the paddock to give him a birthday present from his favorite movie. It's an original like Pixar animator hand-drawn autographed situation. He's like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you. Fuck off." And it's like, what? Who does that? And then, like, I don't know, the haircut I think needed to happen, but
100.
it's giving him a little bit, unless he like fully delivers, it's still going to be annoying and we'll have the ick, but it'll be like, okay, well now he's just,
I do
like,
think
swinging
he's
it.
setting himself up to be very disliked if he can't back it up on the track.
Yeah, but even if you can back it up on the track at this point, this is probably me just being painfully Midwestern. I'm like, you don't have to be a dick about it. Even Max doesn't like walk
So
around
fair.
with like his like dick hanging out of his pants, like, hey, look at how good I am.
I think Jake would beg
I
to
would
differ,
differ.
and
but I do think
I don't think he does. I don't think Max does.
I do think that we talked about this in the previous episodes that Max just doesn't have the empathy.
He's on the spectrum.
He also doesn't care enough.
That
like
all
about
his purpose
he does care
to
about
win.
winning, but he
Right.
And
also,
so
like,
that is what makes him a winner.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
so like there's no hate there. It's just I think Liam is also setting himself up to be compared to Max. He has a very hard job to be in that spot.
But I think he's excited
Fair.
for it, which, like, to his credit,
Well, yeah.
he's like, sign me up, put me there, I want it. And that's what he has said, and now what he has done. And so it'll be very exciting to see.
I'm actually very excited to see Red Bull this season and how they maneuver through things.
Yeah. I just hope that whoever coached Yuki a little bit on like, hey, we know you're 17, but you have to be an adult because we're playing an adult game here, does the same with Liam of like, hey, just like mind your P's and Q's a little bit.
It's really about the manners.
Honestly, I want them all to just like be unhinged. I love it.
What you wanted? What
I want them to be unhinged. Like,
let's do it.
Like,
I
Real
mean,
Housewives of
gives
F1.
gives us
Give
something
it
to
to
talk
us.
about.
Let's let Andy Cohen produce
Oh, God,
the
oh
2026
my gosh.
season.
No,
we need a reunion after seasons.
That would be.
we should have them on our
hilarious.
show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Invite
Open
him here.
invite. We're gonna
Yes.
host the F175 grand reunion.
It'll be nothing about technical
in my
anything.
apartment. We'll have all of them here.
Oh my God.
That's perfect.
Should we move
Plenty
on
of
to
room.
our top five?
Yeah, let's
Constructors.
speed run the
just go through
constructors
them.
here, okay?
Number one, obviously, I put McLaren.
What?
Yeah. Number two, I put Ferrari. Three, I said Red Bull. Four, Mercedes. And then fifth, I couldn't decide, so
Haas.
I put one / the other, and I put Haas as my
No,
fourth.
you didn't, really?
I did. But if it's not Haas, I would say it's going to be between, for fifth place, Haas or Williams.
Okay, remind the team who's driving for Haas this year.
Who is it? It's
I can help if you need help.
Yeah, say it. What's
Ollie Behrman
Ollie Behrman. Yeah.
and
Esteban
right?
Ocorn.
Oh.
Ocorn? Ocorn?
Esteban Ocorn?
How do you say his last name?
He's from
Ocon.
Wisconsin.
Ocon.
Ocorn.
Oh, no, wait.
Ocorn.
You betcha. Ocorn.
Oh.
Ocorn.
Yeah.
I said
Ollie
at the
Behrman
bathroom
is
yesterday morning. Oh, corn.
Ocorn. I'm covering my face. Who is your top five, Kelly's?
Okay, I've got Ferrari, number 1.
Yes.
McLaren, number 2. Mercedes, number 3. Red Bull, number 4. And I didn't put a 5 because I think it's a
on the
crapshoot.
spot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 5 is
Williams.
great.
Love.
Nice. Honestly, I was pretty close to what you had, Cal. I
Okay.
had Ferrari, McLaren, Redberry, Mercedes, and Willary.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah, I had
Great.
Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, Williams.
I love it. I think
Yeah.
that
Aston, I left out completely because I don't know if
We can't
Alonso
beach
can
our
like
car.
shoulder that
No.
team again.
No.
I think the biggest things to think about this year are, is this Hamilton's year? Does he have the car to do it? And does he have the drive to do all the pieces?
The drive to survive.
Yeah. Does
Oh,
he have the
boy.
pieces that are going to make the puzzle complete this year?
Yeah.
Also, will Lando learn from his mistakes of going back to like letting Max kind of walk on him in decisions and not getting his elbows out far enough?
Yeah.
Does he have that from last year's learnings to go? And also, McLaren's car could be shit this year compared to everyone else's. So it's just really,
If
it
they-
really
They
is
keep it like that.
depending
It looks
on that.
cool.
And then also, I think when we talk about Haas and Williams, who is going to be the underdog this year? Who is going to come up through the ranks? Is it going to be driver ability with all of these new kids coming on to the grid and, you know, potentially taking out some of these major contenders that
Kids.
make them, you know, DNF? And then you
Yeah.
have someone like Esteban that one year that came through and won a Grand Prix, and people are like, oh, he's really good.
This past season with Alpine when he and Gasly went one team.
Yeah.
That was wild.
So I think it'll be
unknown
really
is very exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Yeah.
a lot of carnage, a lot of
Mostly carnage.
fun things.
I do think the two top factors I am interested in is team orders,
Yep.
which we can talk about, and then obviously the rookies.
Yeah.
Like they just throw in such, even if you have such great drivers, if a rookie touches something the wrong way
a puncture of
and
yeah.
sends the whole grid, it could just be
Into a
so
tizzy.
wild.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little parched.
Oh boy.
Oh.
I'm not very well hydrated
Oh.
right
Oh,
now.
dear.
Can either of
Should we
you
make a pit stop?
I think we should. I think it's time for maybe a little hydration station.
I think
and
so.
Maybe a couple games and along the way here. What do you guys think?
I
Yeah.
think so.
I think
Yeah.
so.
All
I
right.
think
I
we
brought
should take
something
a-
special today.
Oh, boy.
Whoa.
Great time.
So,
I'm gonna grab it really quick.
I'm
and
going to
show
need
our-
to take a quick break.
Let's
Okay.
take a break and we'll come back.
We are back with Hydration Station, our favorite segment.
Is it?
Jake, it is right now.
It is now.
It
Jake,
is?
can you introduce our guest?
So we
for Hydration
have
Station?
a world-renowned guest coming in right now. Kelly,
World.
scoot this little cart in here.
Oh,
Ooh.
boy. A good time to say
Okay,
I'm a
so-
recovering alcoholic.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
Kelly, do you want to talk to us about what you brought for show and tell today?
Okay, show and tell today. Obviously, I've been very influenced
Mm-hmm.
on the socials. Sir Lewis Hamilton has been posting a lot about this Almave drink, spirit. It's a non-alcoholic spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Love.
There's a Blanco and a Reposado. So we have the Blanco today because it is actually very hard to find this right now. It's very popular. And Dry January was a very big thing for the peoples. So I found the Blanco. We're going to try the Blanco. And then I'm also going to make a margarita.
I think that's great. Should we
Yes.
all? So I have some shot glasses right
Yeah.
here.
Let's do that. Let me give you a little thumb.
Yeah.
So
So
Andy Cohen does a shot ski. We should get a front wing
Oh my gosh.
or a rear
Did you
spoiler.
see-
That'd be kind of cool.
I would love
dropping
the back wing, you know, with the DRS. Do you see that with the keys? I think one of you sent that.
Oh yeah.
It's like $750.
Well,
I think we
So
do
if, anyway, also if anyone wants to buy me the complete collection of the Legos that are coming out of the entire
it.
grid
Yes.
for $269,
Jake has limited
I
space
would-
in the apartment, but there will be
We'll make it
space
work.
made.
We will make
for these.
it work.
shelves.
All right.
Yes.
Shelving.
All right. So should
Are
we
y'all
try this?
shooting it? What are we doing?
I think
I
we
think
should
we shoot it.
shoot it.
Shooting
I haven't
it.
taken a shot in 3.5 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good
Cheers.
on
Cheers.
you.
Alrighty.
All right.
Did I pour a lot in mine? Good.
It smells like tequila. This is frightening. It's for sure non-alcoholic.
Non-alcoholic.
Okay.
Oh my
Ooh.
God. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I think it is? Because it's good.
Tough.
No, it's good. I think I was waiting for like the sting, but because there's
Right.
no
Yeah.
alcohol, that's what isn't,
Just
and so it's
smooth.
not bad. It's just a different
Yeah.
sensation.
You still get that like kind of
The
bright
taste is-
dryness that you would with a
You're
regular
ready.
tequila.
I was
but-
ready for it to like burn on the way down.
Sure.
But
Yeah, that's actually
that's
really
great.
nice.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. You taste the agave, very agave
Yeah.
forward.
I think that's great.
Notes.
I think it'll be better in a margarita. Like I think
Mixed?
it'll be mixed.
Yeah. All right, Kel.
So
Okay,
yeah.
so
Right.
I'm
Well,
gonna make a classic margarita.
While you do this, I kind of wanted to talk about, what's going on the grid. And by grid, I mean the Instagrid.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Okay, Jake.
So, well, first and foremost, should we just talk about like the next book that I'm reading?
Please.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
So, last week we talked about Lauren Asher's F1
Ooh.
series, and I'm on the final. Ooh, are you driving?
I'll never tell.
We're on the final book, which is called Redeemed,
Okay.
and it's about Santiago and
Yes.
Chloe, and it's still not my fave.
Okay.
We haven't gotten to like the spicy yet,
Okay.
but I think next week, Tim, I should.
You'll bookmark
I'll
something.
bookmark, yeah.
Toto will come
Great.
back.
So if you
Oh
want
my
to
gosh, that's
Carl
hear
Weezer.
a little bit more about that,
Okay.
tune in next week.
Okay.
But
Go.
I wanted to talk about. We saw all of Georgia's athletic pictures last week, and I didn't think it could get any worse until they posted Carlos's stuff. And have you seen him in his suit? He just looks like an old man.
Oh.
And I'm like,
no. Carl. He looks
Carl,
like a
literally
Carl Sainz.
Yeah. So I think next week we'll have a little bit more after liveries are announced, and I think
No. This is the hydration station. Also, you owe us an update.
Oh, yes.
On
So
what?
last week we sat down with young Jake and he shared with us that he was going on a first.
And
Jake was saying that he was going on a first date.
sorry.
And
Oh.
this was 3 weeks ago now.
we're hijacking hydration station. We're going to talk
Yes,
about my
we
love
are.
life.
All right, Jake.
That's
So tell
part of
us
hydration
who this young man is, what they do for work, and what their social security number is.
Yes, please, because we hear they have a good job.
It didn't happen, y'all.
No, it didn't. You teased the shit out of us.
Wow.
It didn't
what
happen?
Do you mean?
Who ghosted who? What happened?
Okay, so last
Oh,
time that we
God,
all
here
met,
go.
I had a date. We met on Hinge, which I don't ever get on, and he had a very good job. I'm not going to say what it is, but it was a very good job, and he was a little bit older.
Thank you. Did you not make yourself one?
Well, I didn't make it big enough, so I'm gonna have to do another.
Okay, we can just wait.
We'll just try it.
Yeah.
Jake, keep breaking our hearts,
I know, right?
letting us down.
So anyway, I was supposed to run the Miami Marathon,
Mhm.
right? I got sick with the flu, so that
Mm,
interrupted the date.
Okay.
okay.
And then I just kind of like didn't follow up. So it's on me. But
you had a responsibility to this group.
I
I
have
just
a-
want to say too that Jake like dangled the carrot in front of Kelly and I when we
So
got
hard.
here. Like, oh my god, wait for that.
Well, I'm not
'cause it
done with
is
the story.
piping hot.
Oh, it's not done.
I'm not done with the story.
Well, you are getting more red, so I feel like something is going to happen.
So I have a date tonight.
That is why we are getting kicked out of this place.
Jake was like, guys, I have a rock hard out at 5.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because when they have a rock hard out, it's just to feed the dog or something. But this one,
Sorry,
Well,
we're
Jake's about to-
married.
No.
I'm trying, okay? Yeah, so I have a date tonight. It is not with the same person.
You are unhinged.
He is unhinged
name
and
Carl?
unhinged.
No, Kelly, you actually know this person.
Carl?
I know this person.
Is it Kelly's wife?
Yeah. Been on plenty of dates with Jen.
It's true. Honestly, Jake is a honorary sibling child.
Krennigan?
I don't
Yeah.
know what you would call you.
A godparent
Okay.
Adopted.
of your
Adopted.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna shake
Okay.
Jake real quick, and then you're gonna tell
Yeah.
us.
About what? I
Oh.
don't want you.
Well, what are y'all doing?
We're gonna go get pizza
Okay,
and then ice cream probably.
that's so
His doing, not
cute.
mine.
That's so
I don't really eat
You don't
ice
like
cream.
ice cream?
Do you get the toots?
I don't. I'm actually lactose sensitive, so like it's not intolerant where I like poop myself. It's more I get like congested and can't breathe. Yeah.
Oh.
I feel like that's an anaphylaxis response.
Yeah.
So have you told this young man that?
Well, I can suck it up for a date. It's fine.
And then what? You
well
go into anaphylactic shock, and then you go to the
something
ER.
really hot and like
I'm not calling
of that EpiPen in my neck.
Are you setting up a trauma bond ahead of time?
Wow. Okay. The tea was hot because Jake is
my
tricking somebody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
No, what's
Cheers.
Oh God.
Cheers to anaphylaxis.
That's good.
It actually is.
I don't mind that at all.
That tastes
very
really,
refreshing.
really good.
Yeah. Will you keep this at your house for me?
Absolutely.
So that when we have parties, I can pretend?
Absolutely.
That's actually no joke. That is awesome.
That's really, really good.
Yeah.
Normally,
way to go,
I would
Sir
do like
Lewis.
a orange liqueur in my margarita. That's my favorite way, but I didn't have an orange NA, so that
we
might
have
be the
it
next.
right there. Oh, that's
Yeah. It's real.
We're gonna let Jake get there real quick.
okay.
He has an orange liqueur down here.
Yes.
But it has
but it
the
has
It is a proper
the
liqueur.
Alice in it.
liqueur.
And you guys can put it. Why don't you guys put it in yours,
No,
and then you can
this
see how
is
it tastes.
great.
Okay.
I think it's great.
I'm not going to be
as
triggered.
is.
No, but I think
I am jonesing for like 6 more of these, though.
That's the problem. Is I
Yeah.
want to chug this now
why?
because it's refreshing.
Sure.
Whereas like
'Cause
an
he's nervous about the
alcoholic
ice
drink,
cream
I'm
tonight.
like, no, I'm not nervous about the ice cream. I'm nervous.
This is pre-gaming
This
for
is
you.
I know, honestly, yeah. No, it's good. I feel like it's more like, you know how like lemonade, you want to like just chug sometimes when
Sure.
you like want something refreshing, but a margarita, unless you're like nervous, you're
Honestly,
not gonna like.
I only drink frozen margaritas because if it's on the rocks, I will chug it.
All right. I think to take us out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sign off.
Yeah. So if you want to follow us on Instagram at F1_DERLAND. So F1_Derland.
The land.
We are also going to put our email address up there. So if you want to connect with us, have us, review any merchandise or liqueurs,
Or if you even just have like
non-alcoholic
fun ideas for segments you'd like to see,
games,
we'll take it into consideration.
everything. If you want to take me on a date, not for ice cream, don't hit me up there.
Or
But
if you do want to take Jake out for a date for ice cream and want Kelly and I there to videotape everything.
oh my God.
Yeah.
You can tag us. My handle is at Tim Heller Creative, and Kelly,
K to the Henny.
K to the Henny, here to document Jake's dating life.
We love that. We love that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm Jake. This is Kelly and Tim. Thank you so much for listening. Check us out next week. We'll have a lot more content regarding the 75th anniversary livery reveal, as well as
75.
more topics on what this season is going to bring.
Yes.
Until then, I'm Jake.
Kelly.
Tim,
We'll see you next time.
later.